Alright, so let's look at number 8. It says, suppose f is a function where this is equal to 0. It's basically saying this is the alternative form. If it's the alternative form and it's looking at 2, it's saying f prime at 2 is equal to 0. So the slope of the tangent at x is equal to 2 is equal to 0. So 2 is either going to be a minimum or a maximum, wherever it's at, because their slope is 0. So this is 2, this is 2. Which of the following questions must, might, or never be true? Explain your answers. So if I looked at this equation, f of x is continuous at x is equal to 2, this is, it must. Because it's saying, first of all, this showed that at x is equal to 2, it was differentiable. Differentiable, remember, means that I can take a slope. I can take the equation of a tangent to that graph at that certain x value, and I can calculate its slope. Differentiable means I can calculate and find its derivative. If I can take its slope, automatically, by default, it must be continuous, because continuous needs to exist first to see, can I take a slope at that continuous point. Alright, so this is a must. F of x is continuous at x is equal to 0. Well, we don't really know what it looks like at 0. It's trying to confuse you by using 0 to see, will you look over here and interpret that as you're approaching x value. So this one is a might. We don't really know what the graph looks like at x is equal to 0. We just know that at 2 it is continuous. Alright, so f of 2 is equal to 0. That's saying that the y value at 2 is equal to 0. So if I come over here and I showed you that this, let me use a different color, was my y-axis, and this was my x-axis. This is the point right here, 2, 0. This is the y value that is being stated here. Notice there's not a prime here, so it's saying what is the position or what is the y value at 2. So this is another might, because we don't know what the y and x-axis are at. So let's look at D. It says the limit of the function as x is approaching 2 is equal to f of 2. This is rule number 3 of the rule of continuity. So the laws of continuity, this is number 3. This must be true because all 3 rules of continuity have to be true in order for it to be continuous. So we knew at the very beginning it was differentiable. Therefore, by default, it was continuous. By default, all 3 rules exist. So this is going to be must. So you have must, might, must. And then what is the derivative at 2? If I look at this, this at 2 business is showing this whole thing is f prime at 2 is equal to 0. This is saying that it's equal to 2. This is going to be a never, because we've already defined it to be 0.